Police in Harrison have seized 5 cell phones as evidence, and they're seeking search warrants to check them for sexual images of high school students. This was a story you saw first here on Local 12 News.
Police Chief Charles Lindsay says he'll have more to say next week after the images on the phones have been viewed. While the criminal investigation continues, there's another issue here as well, a big one. Local 12's Jeff Hirsh looks at what parents can do to convince their children not to do something like this.
Sexting can start out as a prank or perhaps a graphic 21st century love note. But to someone involved, it can end up far worse.
That digital trail, can live forever. It could be something that haunts them the rest of their lives.
The latest incident under investigation is at Harrison High School. 5 cell phones have been confiscated, and according to an email sent home to parents, school superintendent Chris Brown describes a very disturbing situation where a number of inappropriate photos of students were taken by students and shared. The exact number of kids and photos is still under investigation, but it was not an isolated incident. UC professor Jeff Blevins has studied social media controversies. He says while teens always experiment and do occasionally stupid things, digital media magnifies the potential harm.
Because it's digital media, that it can live forever, it can be transmitted instantly and across, the globe. It's so easy to lose control over that image.
In one particularly sad incident, a suburban Cincinnati teenager named Jessica Logan committed suicide after a partial nude picture of her was circulated a few years ago. State law was then changed to set guidelines for reporting cyberbullying. But not everything will get reported. Professor Blevins says taking your kid's phone away or banning certain apps just won't work. But using what is happening in Harrison, for example, as a teaching moment could be useful for teens.
Talk to them about the dangers. To watch the news with them. Cases like this, I think, are the best teachers, unfortunately.
So here's a bit of advice. It may sound kind of paranoid, but I think it's good advice. If you send something out on digital media, assume it's not private at all. For example, there's an app called Snapchat. You can send pictures out and they're supposed to disappear in 5 or 10 seconds. But what if somebody else takes a picture of that picture before it disappears? That somebody else can do whatever he or she wants to do with that picture, and you can't do anything about it. Jeff Hirsh, Local 12 News.
The school superintendent says most of the pictures are apparently of freshmen and sophomores, mostly from Harrison High School, but possibly from others as well. He says some of the photos are current, others may be a year or 2 old.